Hello, everyone. You are listening to the To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar and no one else. I almost did the old intro. See, that's what not having any notes does to you, because I have no notes on Hull City this week, because often when we've had one of these wins and we're having a happy pod on a Sunday night after the Saturday, we haven't often won, especially over the last year or so, in midweek as well. But that intro was, of course, in reference to a blockbuster win against Wrexham on Wednesday night under the skylights, or on the sky cameras under the city lights. If you can hear my cat in the background, he's just happy about the result as well. I'm your host, Nathaniel, and tonight I'm joined by Joe, Will, and Christian to talk about Merry 6 Pointsmas.
Not bad, is it? Not bad.
It's very good.
Kyle Joseph, unbelievable.
Who thought anybody would be saying those words anytime soon, to be fair. But
well, you were saying before the podcast, it's not unbelievable for you, is it? You never doubted him.
Well, I'm the only person here who predicted us to beat Wrexham for a start.
True. I don't know what I was thinking with my 2-0 predictions. I'm much happier with the results we did get.
You got one of the team's scores right.
Yeah, but 1 out of 4 is still a pretty bad ratio.
And really, Wrexham shouldn't have been nilled, to be quite honest, because I don't know how Keeper Moore missed that sitter in the first half. And I mean, really, you should always put away a penalty as a striker. But I suppose when you've got that Croatian god in goal, it's a bit trickier.
Well, it's because he's not as good as Kyle Joseph. That's why. I mean, a goal is quite rare. I mean, 2 goals in 2 games, that was amazing. And then he went and scored another one just a few minutes after. So, put us 2-0 up against Millwall.
And his present for that was getting kicked in the balls by Aziz.
Well, yes.
I don't know what you mean. No, he's just getting up. He doesn't stand him at all. He's just freeing his leg, and the whole player drags his leg back down. It's never a red card. It's never a red card. Rare.
Will's just drinking the Millwall fans' tears there. If you're watching on YouTube,
they're a bit bitter.
Yeah. I was going to say, was it a bit bitter? That's you beat me to that one, Will. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, we said just before we started, didn't we? Where with respect to the game on Saturday. Yeah, all right. The ref was a bit pants. We're not going to deny it.
It was Gavin Ward.
It was Gavin Ward. What do you expect? But for the first time ever, it worked and within our favour, didn't it? So
for the first time ever, Gavin Ward did us a solid.
Yeah,
it's a Christmas miracle.
Well, let's focus on Wednesday first, like the Wednesday match. I think that was, I'll admit, hands up. I think a lot of people will admit weren't expecting a result other than Will. I know, wrong side, that's camera. It was one of those,
Look, I think we all called it. Look at the smoke.
It's that big smile in it that you're just looking about. It was one of those games where I looked at the lineup just before kickoff, and I went into our chat and I was like, look, I just not seeing it. I just wasn't confident. And I don't want to take anything away from the 2 players I'm about to mention, like with Vendala and Giabi starting, because I actually do like them as players. I just don't like the fact of when they are playing kind of the role they're playing, especially Giabi usually is the kind of CDM man, and I just hate him in that position. I really, truly hate it. But he wasn't. And he was played a bit more attacking, and wow, what a game he had. I mean, what an absolute brilliant game he had. It's the best I've seen him play for us. And Dale was cutting in a lot tighter, a lot earlier in the field as well, which I noticed, which compacted like the top 3. It wasn't kind of like a winger role where you've got the guy outside wide and like doing the big crosses in. He was kind of in the mix and in the attack, and he kind of helped the wing backs kind of push up a bit more as well. And even the midfielders were kind of enjoying a bit more of a wider space and cover. So it's down to Sergei, absolutely down to Sergei getting his game plan spot on. And for 90 minutes, it was probably the most enjoyable 90 minutes, other than obviously the nerve-wrackingness of kind of the penalty and obviously the sitter that they should have scored. But for 90 minutes, Hull City were solid, I would say. It was not a game of two halves. It was a game of all Hull City, which was... It's the first time we've seen that season, I would say. I mean, please tell me if I'm wrong there, gent. But...
No.
No,
it's a complete performance, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably the best. But in terms of an all-round performance, it was probably the best performance at home this season, for sure.
Best 90 minutes, because we do tend to be such a team of second halves.
I think City, one of their main issues at home when they struggle is because they're such a side that really thrives on the counter-attack and thrive on sort of breaking. When they have to control a game because they're at home, they struggle a little bit, or they have done in the recent past. But I thought City on Wednesday didn't seem to struggle with that at all. They seemed to relish having the ball a lot and just pushing forward at their attack. I mean, Belloumi was just terrorising on his side. Millar and Nandala terrorising on their side. I think Joseph again running his ass off for the cause constantly all game. Crooks absolutely dominating the midfield. I mean, the defence didn't really put a foot wrong for the most part. There's that one moment when Kiefer Moore has the sitter that he misses, which comes from poor clearance from Coyle that just hits Crooks. But apart from that, the penalty, they created absolutely nothing all game. They were just stopped at every opportunity they could get forward. I mean, they didn't help themselves, to be fair. I thought Wrexham, regardless of our performance, I thought Wrexham were awful.
Oh, yeah.
They were appalling. I'd be fuming if I had travelled all that way for that performance to watch that. I'd be so annoyed. And but City did what they needed to do. Whether they took advantage of an opportunity that just handed to them essentially, and it was comfortable. And it could have been more. It could have been more if that Van Kroenke and goal. There's a couple of chances we had, and he did well with them. I think Akintola at the death really should have scored from his one.
Yeah.
There was a couple earlier on in the game, but I think City were never really troubled by Wrexham at any point. It was a nice, comfortable game that I think we needed, especially after the Middlesbrough game, because that rocks a bit of confidence, and it was a nice response. That was just something you want to see every now and then. Just a comfort. It's nice having games that are end to end, heart attack football, like Trump supposedly wants.
PTSD.
Well, actually, it's nice instead to have games where we're just dominant, we just comfortably win, and they're rubbish to watch if you're a neutral because one team's just all over it. I'll have a few of them this season instead, every now and then.
Look, Wrexham had a couple of spells in the game. Don't get me wrong, but like Will said, they didn't create an awful lot when they had those spells. There were a couple of times where, like especially towards the end of the first half, when they were having a little bit more possession, I thought, right, we need a second to put this to bed here. And I thought the longer it drew on, it was going to be a bit typical City. But then Ollie McBurney comes on and the rest is history.
Does Ollie McBurney things, doesn't he?
It amazed me just how pants Wrexham were. Like, they were so poor. But I think it speaks volumes about the whole division that they're as bad as they are. And going into Wednesday, they were 9 unbeaten.
Yeah, and we made them look bad, didn't we?
So the championship is a very weird league this year. And you know, just looking ahead briefly, and I know we'll come on to this. I said to my dad yesterday that West Brom are a very weird team in that they always find themselves like 3-0 down at half time and somehow find a way to make a game of it. But then my dad said to me, well, look, you can say that about every team in the championship, that they're weird in their own unique little way. Like Millwall, they were third going into yesterday with a negative goal difference. So the championship is a very odd league this year. And I think, Will, you used the phrase last week, there are only two certainties, and that's Cov at the top and Wednesday at the bottom. And look, that does ring very true.
I mean, the gap's closing on Coventry at the moment as well. So there's maybe only one certainty in the league going forward.
And that's the team on -9 points.
It's going to take them quite a while to get to even 0, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But look, in total, just to bring it back round then, yeah, really, really good week to be a Hull City fan.
Yeah.
Really,
I didn't
really
mention
good.
when I said it a minute ago either, that second goal. So as the second Miller played it to Giles, I was like,
Yes.
yeah, McBurney's scoring here. The second Giles got that ball, I wasn't even looking at the ball. I was looking at McBurney, just watching his movement. As soon as he made that quick sort of sprint, a little turn away from the attacker,
He did his little S run, didn't he? He did his little S run.
As soon as he started it, it's like, if he plays this here, he's scoring. And it was there again.
McBurney knew where he wanted it, and Giles put it there.
Yeah, it was a superb cross. And, I mean, they're almost telepathic, them two. It's just ridiculous at this point.
Coyle's cross on Saturday at Millwall was the same for McBurney, though, wasn't it?
Man said it for a few seconds.
It was an absolute peach of a cross that just found Ollie McBurney's forehead. He didn't have to jump. He barely had to move. All he had to do was sort of divert it in. And that's what he does. That's what he does so well, being that poacher, being that in the box threat. But before we go any further, I'd just like to whip a little personal stat out about the Wrexham game. So because I hadn't seen one of my mates from home for ages, I texted him and said, "Do you want to come to the Wrexham game? Spare seat next to me." He said, "Oh yeah, go on." And he reminded me that while we were there, that he's been coming to the odd home game with me on and off for however many years. And he's still yet to see a Hull City win live in the flesh. The closest he came was Leeds when Adama Traore hit the post from 2 yards out. And
why do you have to bring that up?
Yeah, Ant's not going to like listening back to that.
And my best mate has now seen Hull City win a game.
Finally.
So it only took. I'm trying to think what the first game he'd have come to might have been.
So he got to see us win a game, and he got to see Ryan Longman in the flesh. It's like, you can't get better than that.
It's the dream, isn't it? It's the dream. Yeah. Well, I'm glad Longman wasn't able to stop us getting the 3 points. I was just so glad.
He went into centre back, didn't he? He came on
it
and
looked like
centre back for the first few minutes, and I was like, "What's he doing?"
That. Yeah, just because all the team was pushed onto the left-hand side and he was the right wing back. But it did look like that. I said that to my mate at the game. But when McBurney was back, because I think we were so excited, or at least I was, about the McBurney signing, and then he seemed to be like twice as good as we all hoped he could possibly be if it went well. And then he so he was overperforming, really better than he was at Sheffield United. It's the best football he's played in his whole career. And then he gets that injury, and you think, okay, well, maybe it'll take him a little bit of time to get back and up and running. And he's not even started a game yet. He's still got 2 goals, and it was 4 minutes and 1 second. And as you say, well, it's that telepathic link he's got with Giles. They know exactly where he's going to be. And the 2 goals he scored so far coming back, it's so important now that Gelhardt's injured as well. We haven't felt, Gelhardt missing for the last 2 games because we've got Millar, Belloumi, McBurney. Could be, when they start together, the best front three. Well,
don't forget
best front four.
Top scorer in these last 2 games.
Well, true, absolutely. But I was so excited because not only is he back, but he's back, as good as he was beforehand. He's not lost that sharpness. And, Sergei's joked about it after the, in the press conference after Millwall that maybe McBurney's better coming off the bench. And if Joseph keeps scoring, I think, because it's going to be such a busy time over Christmas. Yeah, jumping ahead to the lineup for West Brom, it would be harsh to drop Joseph because if it's working, why change it? But we are probably going to have to, other than Coventry. Sorry?
We have got to be careful because
Yes.
McBurney's fresh back from injury. Belloumi's not long back from injury. Miller's fresh back from injury. We've got to keep these assets and these these such crucial players for us fit. So a bit of rotation won't do anyone any harm. It's nice that there's no game in midweek now. That's exactly what everyone needs. Full week of rest. They had their Christmas night out in London on Saturday, so I hope they all enjoyed that.
The guy rocking the jeans.
That'll be why he was wearing them. He was ready for the piss up afterwards.
Definitely.
Ready to go out looking casual. Then after West Brom, it's Saturday, Friday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday, FA Cup on Saturday.
Grim. Yeah. So we do need to be well rested for that. The only negative I can think of this week is that Ajayi's played well the last 2 games and he'll be going off to AFCON. So obviously part of me is like, oh, well, yes, especially sort of from an empathy side, because he missed the deciding penalty for the World Cup qualification that Nigeria haven't qualified. I want him to go and do well for Nigeria. But if they were to,
crash out in the group stage.
Oh, that's a shame, but oh well,
And there's
come and play for us.
Look, on Shemi Ajayi as well, I'm quite critical of him. But he's been superb these last 2 games. After Middlesbrough, I was surprised he stayed in the team going into Wrexham, especially in a back 4. I thought if he switched to a back 5 or a back 3, then it'd make sense. But Sergei's clearly thought, we're going to need John Egan and Akin Famawo right over Christmas, especially Egan to come in for Ajayi. Let's utilise him while we've got him. Yeah. And if he gets injured with Nigeria, it's not our problem because we wouldn't have him anyway. So met the most out of him. And he stepped up, to be fair to him. Really stepped up.
Both games.
Had a superb game, especially on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I think you bang on there with that assessment, Joe, because obviously Middlesbrough was horrific. It was horrific, and individual performances, like you can state, we can easily highlight almost all the lads that played. But Semi Ajayi he was one that stood out for me against that Middlesbrough game, and to come back how he did against Wrexham and again against Millwall, it was something that I guess even I didn't expect, or most of the fans probably didn't expect the kind of turnaround in performance that he did. Again, I'm going to have to look at Sergei for this, because Sergei must have had a well in his ear going, look, you've done these stupid little mistakes. Let's run over what you did against Middlesbrough, what you did wrong. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? This is what you should be doing, because the pattern that I saw throughout the last 2 games was if he couldn't do X, Y, Z, that was already written out plan. Your final solution was to play it down that right-hand side lane and try and see what you can get up of it and compact the midfield and the wing back to kind of come up and close it down and win the ball back. And against Wrexham especially, when Semi did play that ball down, even if we didn't win the initial first header, we were clearing up and winning the second ball, and we were on the attack again. So I'm going to have to turn around again and say, Sergei, wow, what a turnaround you've done from Middlesbrough, because we were starting to get a bit complacent, I would say. Even the game before Middlesbrough, I thought the last couple of games we've just seemed a bit off it. But then you look at the last 2 games, and especially, like I say, the Wrexham game was just so enjoyable. It was so enjoyable to watch. And I'm not just saying because it was a win. It was just nice football to watch. For anyone, if you were neutral and you're watching that game, yeah, it was calming. And someone was talking about the atmosphere still being in the stadium. How we've got the reputation of Hull not having the best atmosphere. We're not singing every 2 seconds. We're not shouting every 2 seconds. But that second half, when we saw how comfortable we were and how enjoyable it was, you could start feeling the voices from the fans in the stand. The few little pockets that haven't sang in weeks or months or even bloody years started piping up with a little song in the small little segments across the East Stand anyway, from where I was. And you could just feel the difference within the ground because of the type of football we were playing. Now, consistently, if we keep playing like that at home, the atmosphere is going to come with it, because the energy that the players were just kind of exuding out to the fans, the atmosphere will come back. And that's one of the things I'll keep saying over and over again. Yeah, the reason why Hull fans and the stadium doesn't have a massive atmosphere is because we're apprehensive. We've seen good form come in and then disappear straight away. We've seen kind of the glimmer of hope and it disappeared. But now, with Sergei at the reins, that glimmer of hope is now starting to feel a bit more real and solidified throughout not only this season, but the future. And if we can keep the energy going on the pitch and the quality of football that we're seeing, the home atmosphere is just going to get greater. And that means the football is going to get better. And overall, it's kind of a really happy Christmas present to all of us at the moment with how we're being, with how Hull are playing and how we're seeing things. So may it continue, especially because of how Sergei is. I mean, Millwall, we looked at it and I thought, right, kind of what a great lineup. You've got to look at the front three, like especially Joseph's just scored the week before. Is he going to get one again? But look at the two wingers that are on the pitch. And then straight away at Millwall, Belloumi one, and then 7 minutes later, Millar the next.
Perfect
Both
away
is
performance on the counter, isn't it?
Perfect. And the energy from that and the type of football that he's bringing in from Sergei at the moment is just one of the nicest, most reassuring, warm things as a fan that we've seen in such a long time. I mean, Adrian must be buzzing off his little titties right now because he's getting his entertaining football. He is definitely getting his entertaining football.
Yeah, exactly. Can't moan about this.
Forwards. Yeah, he's got his look. I can't say it's heart attack anymore because all right, we're still conceding a few, but defensively, I mean,
they've responded the best way they possibly can after Middlesbrough to actually win 2 games. But the 2 of the last 3 games we won, Stoke we easily could have lost. Norwich we should really have lost and been a few down at half time. Recently, and most of the wins we've had this season, we've ridden our luck and it's kind of been back to the wall the last few minutes as well. Whereas Wrexham and Millwall, we've deserved to win, no matter what the Millwall fans will say about the
before it got the stoppage time.
Yes.
And look, before we move on to focus exactly, like specifically on Millwall, I just want to say across the 2 games, a little shout out to the last League One boys standing, Regan Slater and Louis Coyle. Both of them have had, Slater especially, but Coyle as well, 2 really, really good games there. Slater, I think both of them, to be fair, they're
both coming after just broken 200 games for City as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think both of their decent runs of form, obviously minus Middlesbrough, go back further than just the 2 games that we're talking about tonight. Regan's covered every blade of grass in every stadium he's played in this season. He's been superb. He's truly back to his best, I think. And Louis Coyle, the solid 110%, 7 out of 10, solid every week. Louis Coyle is back, and that's superb to see. But let's go to Millwall, shall we, and give Kyle Joseph his plaudits.
Well, one might say that he's only scored tap-ins, but especially the second goal against Millwall, the movement is incredible to lose his man. So he makes it look easy.
Gary only scored tap-ins. I wouldn't call him
my Uncle Gary. Exactly. Well, Haaland only scores tap-ins, and I was listening to an interview with Haaland. He's not, Joseph's not quite that level, but the best way, he says it's a compliment when people say, "Oh, he's just scored tap-ins." So if he's in the right place at the right time,
it means the build-up play leading up to it is so complete.
Yeah.
Like for Joseph's goal against Wrexham, although there was a bit of slice of luck in there with deflections and what have you, before it landed to him and he put it past a Conquo. The long ball by Hughes, Belloumi's little dummy, it was superb. And then look, again against Millwall, the football to get the ball to Kyle Joseph. And even if it didn't get to Joseph, the position Liam Millar was in, I think it was for the first one, I thought it would go through to Liam Millar. But Joseph got there, and Joseph was in the right place at the right time. And how many is that for the season now for him? 6?
6. Well,
Six.
that's the same as Pedro got last year. You really do think, we really obviously did miss Millar and Belloumi last year, because it makes it easier for a striker to get goals when, as you say, the assists are so good from Giles, Millar and Belloumi.
Yeah. Like Belloumi as well against Millwall. They were petrified of him. It gives you so much in this league to have a winger or two who aren't afraid to get the ball on the deck and try and take a fullback on, try and take a defender on. Because whenever Belloumi got the ball and he'd drift in central, or even if he tried to take the fullback on, I think it was Sturgeon the first half, man for man, the whole Millwall team would drop off like 5, 6, 7 yards. And that just gave him so much space to pick what he wanted to do next. And since he's come back in his 2 starts, Belloumi, superb. And Millar, he's just getting started.
Yeah. So Sturge, the left back, marking Belloumi for the first half against Millwall, he had to go off at half time because he felt dizzy. We'd all feel dizzy, I think, trying to mark Belloumi. I know everyone's made that joke, but it's pretty simple one to make. A few weeks ago, I said, I worry that are we overestimating Millar and Belloumi and how quite good they are, maybe at the start of the season. But turns out I was underestimating them. They're incredible, and we're going to win the league. I'm getting carried away. It's very fun, but compared to where we were last year, I think we have every reason to be. No comment?
Belloumi, same class as Philogene. Not yet, because he hasn't scored this season since he's come back from injury. But
at some point,
keep hold of him. Keep hold of it. Get him fully fit to the end of the season. Give him a pre-season. See how he gets on next year.
Well, if he carries on the way it is, even if it's in a short amount of games, it'll be tough to keep hold of some of these players. That's the only thing I worry about. But whilst they're ours, and of course, if Belloumi was playing this well and had been fit the whole year, we'd be missing him for AFCON as well, I'd think. So, someone's put here talking about wingers. Will we ever score from outside the box? If we still had Ryan Longman, we'd at least get one this year. But it is weird that, I guess because we didn't really have a striker, maybe. Oh, Will's cleared
Will
off.
has just texted me, by the way, saying his StreamYard died. So that's why he was just sat in one position, not doing anything. So he will be back.
I didn't notice. When you don't have a striker, maybe it forces you to try and score some more goals from outside the box, from the wingers, that sort of thing. But when you've got McBurney or Destin or Joseph getting on the end of these crosses, there's more of a focus on scoring those balls, goals from within the 6-yard box, and it does show that they're creating better chances. Hello, Will, are you back with us? I was just talking about how good Ryan Longman is. Not quite. Say something. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
I'll remove you if you don't say anything. I have a big button here that says remove.
Bring it.
Oh well. Yes, Louise. Positivity. Absolutely. Nathaniel cheered the loudest when Longman was brought on. That's not actually true. I cheered the loudest when Akintola was brought on. Mostly just so we could rest Belloumi, in fact. But for 2 minutes we had that front three. So that was a nice time. I guess it would have been longer than that, but maybe 4 minutes just after McBurney scored.
Well, we've gone back to Wrexham, right? So I've seen a comment that said Amir's still not very good, and he was obviously benched for that Wrexham game against Millwall. Typically, right, we say with Amir that he whenever a game's got any pace in it, he sort of loses his way and he's a bit anonymous and he's
so every championship game.
But
Yeah.
yesterday, I thought, despite the pace in the game, I thought he was really actually quite decent.
I can't remember if I brought this up in the last podcast. I said I think he's better suited to when we play away from home and with the more defensive side, and we're on the counter. I think actually he suits those sort of games more, where he has to break up the play a lot more often, rather than when we're at home and we're to be the team on the front foot, and his pace isn't really up to sort of keeping up with like a Slater in the midfield, who's like a Duracell bunny, or the wingers who are just so fast.
No, he's spot on. Spot on. That's the thing about him. He's got no pace at all. He is literally one speed from start to finish, and you can't just see him screaming up and down the pitch. But you can see him kind of holding, breaking up. I don't want to call him a playmaker. I don't mean it in that kind of thing, but you can definitely use him to transition from A to B, going across, holding up the ball. I don't see him as the big kind of, look, we're going to scream that over to one corner and things like that. He did a job, and he did it pretty well against Millwall. Not going to say it was, the best performance I've seen. It wasn't, but he did a job. And I think in my mind, to have someone it's at the club, when we're fully fit and everyone's fully rock and rolling, I've got no qualms with bringing someone like Amir off the bench, because he is a good quality depth player.
Just to break up play.
Break up play.
We do have options there, don't we?
And that's a good thing about me.
Summer, he will be sacrificed to bring Zambrano in his place, which
it's Zambrano time.
Are we going to bring up
32
Zambrano
minutes
every single week, even though he doesn't
Joe,
play for us?
You're our Zambrano correspondent. You are the leading voice on this conversation. So I think that's valid.
I don't know how you've given me that title, but
because you keep mentioning him. That's why. I mean, because you are interested.
He doesn't even play for us. He still gets brought up.
I mean, yes, but he doesn't play for us, but he does play for the Hull City owner. So pretty close.
Listen, anyway, moving on. Look, that's what I think will happen in the summer. But while Amir is here, like Will says, in away games, when he has to break up the play a little bit more, useful asset. I think it just speaks volumes that every time he starts, especially at home, he gets hauled off at half-time.
To be fair, he played well at Millwall. He played well at Millwall, and that's how this whole conversation started. So I'll give him credit where credit is due for that. It's kind of funny you say Amir's got no pace. He is quicker than Crooks, to be fair. I mean, Crooks is the one who keeps finding himself on the wing. I'm like, but he can't run. Definitely. Because Crooks can't run. He just stands there most of the time. He's a good player.
But... knocks the wind out of anybody that comes near.
Pretty much, yeah. That's his job.
To be honest. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, here's something then. So Scott McLaughlin says, thoughts on McBurney getting a call up for Scotland? Well, I was thinking about this and I've prepared a statement on this. Forget McBurney getting into the Scotland lineup. What about Kyle Joseph? If he carries up this form, maybe they'll be playing up front against Brazil together.
As a little partnership.
Could be.
Be interesting.
They're both better than Lyndon Dykes.
Sorry, what are you on about? Scotland will keep playing Lyndon Dykes and Che Adams. Not a single decent striker.
I think there's something quite notable that we've not spoken about in
Ryan Giles to play for England.
Not quite what I was thinking. I was thinking more Liam Millar getting away with a red card and then Femi Aziz standing on Kyle Joseph.
Well, we were going to try and brush over it. It didn't happen.
Didn't hear the whistle, so I don't see what the problem is. I mean, we did get an obvious handball not given against us at a key moment in the Wrexham game, so these things balance out. Not for Millwall, screw them, but for us, it's balanced out.
Well, no, look, let's be reasonable for a second.
No.
I think Liam Millar massively.
For the first time.
Yeah, for the first time ever on this podcast. 190.
Do you not remember what I was doing last week during the World Cup draw?
That's true.
Do you not remember that rant? That lasted about 40 minutes. You expected me to be reasonable?
Well, moving on. Liam Millar massively got away with one there. By the letter of the law, he was on a booking. He's booted the ball away. That should be a yellow, which would be another yellow, which means he should not be on the pitch anymore. And very quickly, I know it was the plan to bring him off anyway, but Sergei noticed that. And I think even Liam Millar knew when he kicked that ball away, he thought, oh, shit. Hence why he put his arm up and very quickly apologised. But the red card, for example, I've just seen a tweet before we've gone live about the Millwall fans' perfectly reasonable response to a clip that the club put out of Kyle Joseph talking about the red card, in which he uses the words, quote, "He stamped me in the balls." Millwall fans reply to this clip being posted by @Hull City Stats on Twitter are the following: "Have to give it to him. Made an incredible recovery. If the NHS could find his secret, they could save millions. Stamped me in the balls, but magically recovered after the red. Stamped me in the balls, so I held my head because I'm a knob. Stamped me in the balls, holds his face like he got shot. Which one is it? Embarrassing yourself, Kyle. Why are you holding your face then, lad? Soft CUNTs. You shouldn't have been trying to hold him down when he was trying to get up then. Possibly my favourite here, lying bastard. Absolute bullshit. Cheat. Really? You don't have any, you twat. Shut up, you wet wipe. You
The Millwall really have a lovely reputation, don't they?
And away with words.
Final one. You defo held on to him, you lying. See you next Tuesday. It's on video, for fuck's sake.
Lovely. I must say, the NHS could save millions. What, millions of people get stamped in the balls every year? I don't really think that's a thing, is it?
And that only helps half the population.
True. I mean, and statistically, I mean, that's never happened to me. I don't think has it happened to anyone on this podcast, anyone listening.
It's not happened to me, but I've seen it happen in five-a-side.
Well, in
when
five-a-side,
I've been playing, where one of my mates has stood on another one of my mates' testicles. But I think to be fair to the Millwall man, I think he means millions of pounds by finding the secret to how Kyle Joseph, in his words, like miraculously recovered as soon as the red card went out.
Don't defend him.
Yeah, come on. You can tell there was. We need one of these salty fan charts kind of tables, you know.
What, like
where we just...
nothing beats League One manager bingo.
No, Birmingham were pretty bad.
I was going to say Birmingham are up there on me. There's Birmingham, there's
Stoke are up there.
Stoke,
Birmingham's
it's kind of gone on a bit of a tangent because they were second when we played them and now they're out of the playoff.
Yeah. It's all the away teams and not Norwich because they were just so depressed, bless them, to be angry. So they expected it, but it's the other three away wins, isn't it? To be honest, teams like Hull. That's the thing. I've seen lots of people over the course of the year, Norwich, I think, included. Hull were the worst team we've played this year, and they beat us. Well, Wrexham. I've seen some Wrexham fans say Hull were the worst team, but Wrexham. I've seen almost every match, and I've listened, followed every game on the radio. I don't think any of the ones I haven't seen would fall into this category because we've not really won that many away games. But Wrexham by far were the worst team we've played.
Worst team we've seen. Agreed.
They offered nothing.
We haven't seen Wednesday yet, have we? I suppose that's not
but they'll have a bit of spirit, won't they?
Even Oxford,
they'll probably be better than Wrexham.
Oxford scored twice. Norwich could have been 4-0 up in the first half. Wrexham, they made Ivor Panda dive down low to his right once, and that was
he made a couple of good saves very early on in the Millwall game, and apart from that, now
he did. In the first 3 minutes, Panda was alive against Millwall, and that's how he loves it. I think I said this last week as well. Get Ivor Panda doing something miraculous early doors. And then he's got his confidence for the rest of the game.
That QPR game last season when he made about 5 welds in the first 10 minutes.
We could just give away just have one of the defenders pick the ball up in the penalty box in the first minute, have him save a penalty, keep a clean sheet every week.
Well, that's too risky, that move.
Yeah,
Avant-garde tactic.
Considering he's like, what, 25 years old, 26 years old, and 25 years old, 26 in March, and he's saved 3 penalties in his professional career, 2 of them in the last 2 months. I don't think that's maybe the most foolproof strategy.
Also, we'd be down to 10 men in the first minute every match if we did that.
Croatia will be bringing him on in the World Cup if they get to penalties.
That is a genuine possibility.
Opening game, Harry Kane gets a penalty, they just bring him on. I'd be terrified.
But if we listen to Evo, as long as Erbil Bozkart's there with him, he'll save it.
Yeah.
After every penalty save, he always says, all credit goes to the goalie coach, because we sit and research this.
I was going to say, this is from Panda's mouth himself. He says the day before the game, he always researches penalties and decides the day before the game which way he's going to dive for a penalty.
Yeah, he was saying how I think Kiefer Moore hasn't gone that way for a long time. So he thought, maybe he will this time. And I'll outfox him.
I liked him standing deliberately to that side of the goal as well and pointing to the top corner. Sort of, come on then. I know you want to test it.
Pointing.
I know you want to test me. Go on.
Yeah, his palm was out there, wasn't it? It was like that. Literally palm there. Come on, go there. It was one of the better. I say better. It was probably one of his best performances this season as well. And I don't just mean because of the early goal saves. He commanded his box a hell of a lot better this game. Absolutely commanded his box a hell of a lot better. I don't think I've seen Pando catch as many crosses into the box in one game.
Yeah, he normally punches in, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, and he caught and claimed them.
He's been to the Jakubovic school of goalkeeping.
Yeah. Oh, I do miss that guy.
Well, yeah, the punching of the cross is a very common thing on the continent rather than in English football.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed, like Evo, when he comes out and catches the ball, English keepers, they're told to like lead with one leg and then catch. But Evo sort of flicks, instead of leading with one knee to protect himself, he puts both knees, he like bends both knees and has his studs facing outwards. And then, like you say, Will, punching instead of coming and catching and claiming, it is quite a common thing with continental goalkeepers.
Yeah,
just
it was a good game.
Just a little goalkeeping quirk there for all the goalkeeping quirk fans out there.
I enjoyed that goalkeeping quirk. Thank you. Have you got any more? No. Well, maybe you come prepared next week.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah, sure.
That'll do.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't quite the super team as it was post-January, but we are at this point, 21 games in, 1 point ahead of where Liam Rossini, Tufan Danap, Seri Morton, Philogene, etc. were 2 years ago. That's with the transfer embargo and all these injuries. So doing pretty well. I'm always going to be looking out for that because there's a chance that we can get better post-January as well with Tazo. And of course, we thought that 2 years ago when we signed all those players, but they won't be able to upset the balance of the team so long as we keep all the players. And if we keep playing like this, if we're in the top 6, you would think that it's more likely we can maybe attract 1 or 2 in than have to sell half the team.
But we've still got to make a squad space, haven't we? We've still got to make a squad space, so we'll see.
Well, Palmer, he's gone. Palmer's gone. In my mind, Palmer's gone. Williams, Coxey, thoughts on Williams? Possibly. But I think Palmer...
the Williams one's it's a 50-50 flip of the coin because we all know that he's not going to be fit for a while. He had a long time away from the game. Mentally, physically, he hasn't been there at all. He had a few loan spells previous to obviously all the incidents that happened as well. So he was a bit on the fringe before he even, took this time out. But now he's kind of come into the limelight with Hull. I mean, look, we got him on a free. It's not cost us anything. If he's going to go anywhere, we'll probably get a couple of quid for him.
I
Nothing
don't
much.
think he will go anywhere though. That's the thing. I think Brandon Williams is here for the duration because I think I said this last week as well. Because you won't get a League 1 or 2 team take a chance on him, given that they often, well, it's very, hang on, how do I phrase this? Given that they wouldn't take a chance on a well-performing Hull City under-21 player, but when they're offered the same chance, let's say, on a player who has been out of the game for 18 months, hasn't particularly impressed at under-21s level, he's just been there getting minutes, still isn't fully fit, and is now injured. He's got a calf injury, funnily enough, and he's going to be out until the middle of January. I think we'd struggle to give Brandon Williams away. So I think we are better off just keeping him here for the year rather than paying the lump sum to release him or continue keeping him on the payroll. Because what's the point in having him on the payroll if we can't even utilise the asset because we've got rid of him and we're just paying him off? We might as well keep him here in case there's some sort of like miracle turnaround, which is so unlikely to happen, but you never know. It's better to keep him here and pay him than let him go and pay him.
Yes.
Because, I don't think you'd get a League 1 or 2 club take a chance on him on loan or permanently. And I think Dean Holden said it's not going to be a loan if he goes anywhere.
Yeah. If something happens to Giles, I think Coyle or Drame would play first. And if not, if one of them's injured, maybe, then they'd go Fanro, or they'd go Furlong, even who's back at the club, or Matty Jacob, who's got an injury but might not actually be going back or is out for the whole year. He might come back into the fold at some point, possibly.
I'm not sure how long Matty's injury is, to be honest.
I don't know.
Furlong's another one who I expect to go in Jan.
Yeah,
I think. I think it'll be a loan, and then he'll get released in the summer, or we'll extend it to try and extend the contract by a year to try and flog him.
It's still possible that if we have Jacob here and his loan is cut short because of the cap, it might be that Furlong has to go for Jacob to be here. Something like that. I don't know how those contractual things work so, but it's possible, isn't it? We don't really know. Yeah. Okay. Also, just to track the progress of everyone's favourite thing in the whole wide world, we've now moved out of the relegation zone in the XG table. We're 19th. And all I'll say about that is I'll put a positive spin on it, which is that if we've been 6th in the league, but in the bottom 3, I think second bottom in the XG table up until this point, and now we're actually playing well and we're winning games, deservedly so. The league, I mean, they're going to be quaking in their boots.
I nearly brought up earlier about the fact that I think since the last international break, defensively, I mean, the Middlesbrough game was kind of throwing that a little bit because it was so poor. I think in general, since the last international break, City's defence has been a lot more solid in general for the most part since then. And it was in the early stage of the season when we were having a lot of games where we were winning, but we were conceding every single game. That was the issue. We've had a few more clean sheets in recent times, which I think has really helped us. And I think as the season's gone on, we've got more solid.
Yeah.
Outside of the Middlesbrough game, obviously.
Yeah, quite so.
Yeah. Not bad.
Well, looking ahead to West Brom then, that should be an absolutely easy mauling for the mighty Tigers. West Brom have lost 7 away from home in a row. And of course, typical City, blah, blah, blah. But Norwich, they'd lost, 5 or 6 home games in a row by that point. And then we carried on that trend. So I'm really hoping that we can, we've broken that typical City curse and carry on the trend, which is that we'll beat them and, stay in the playoffs and hopefully be there over Christmas.
It's going to be an interesting game, isn't it, West Brom? It's going to be a really interesting game.
Well, the off-pitch thing for West Brom is we will find out who the new Hall of Fame inductee is, which is always an exciting thing. put it this way: the club are prepared for it to be Boaz Myhill because he's on the coaching staff at West Brom, so they can just give it to him because he wouldn't be able to get to any other game. And they'll also present Tony Norman with it as well, who was put in by the Heritage Committee and the club internal vote earlier this year. So there'll be 2 inductions, let's say, before the game. And then the small matter of the 90 minutes on the pitch.
Yeah, I hope that Ryan Mason gets a good reception. I think Longman had a decent one. Yeah, the booing for Philogene when he came off the bench and Greaves at the start of the game. I think, did Alfie Jones get a bad reaction too? I don't really get it. But
Greaves, Jones had a little bit of a booing, a little bit. It was muted, but you could still hear it.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially as this summer, any player we've sold has been sort of a necessary thing, right? We needed to sell people.
You know who didn't get a booing?
Mm.
You know who didn't get a booing?
Well, I already mentioned it, so
who didn't get a booing?
Yeah, but I'm thinking, are you thinking of someone else? Because I just mentioned Longman in that list, or was it someone else?
No, it was Longman. I just wanted to bring it up again.
Oh, I was thinking your internet had gone again. Remember, this is a podcast. We can't have any dead air. Will, get it together. Sorry, I'm in a very, I'm in a very cruel mood, but I should be a bit happier than this. Ian Templeman, it'll be a hard game. West Brom take a point now. No. If we want to catch Coventry, we're gonna win it. We win these home games.
Look. Let's get this down right. Look, West Brom. Last 5 games. Birmingham 1-1. They had Swansea that they won 3-2 at home. Played away
Ryan's
against
under a bit of trouble.
QPR, they lost 3-1. Southampton on Tuesday the night away, they lost to Southampton 3-2. And then on Friday night, they beat Sheffield United 2-0. I mean, that doesn't say much with it being Sheffield United, but Sheffield United's resurgence and everything.
Ryan's been a bit under the cosh in the last few weeks.
He has.
Chance to put a bit of pressure on him again.
It's one of those where, look, you got your result against Sheffield United. The last 2 previous games, all right, you didn't get much out, but 1-1 against Birmingham, respectable. Beating Swansea again, you've got to win. And that's your last 5 games.
That lost 7 in a row away from home. They're clearly not as good there. So it's like 2 different teams.
Yeah. But look at us over the past, let's go back over a year and a half before this season. We were better away and we never won at home. And yet, look what happened with us.
We're pretty good in both places now.
Exactly. It's lovely now. It's
much
lovely
more confident.
now. And it's not like they're struggling. I mean, all right, the 15th. Yeah, 15th in the league. But points-wise, it's so tight. Yeah. I mean, they've still got 28 points. 28 points is crazy. They get one win. I mean, obviously, depending on how other results go. But that still pushes them up. If results above them went their direction, that still pushes them up back to 8th spot.
And it's
crazy.
In the Championship, you can go on a run if you win 3 or 4 in a row, which is quite, if you win the first one, it can be easy to do. So it's definitely possible, but it's not very easy when you're so bad away. That's what I'm going to focus on. If we get an early goal, I think hopefully they'll crumble. A lot of teams, when they, even when they go down to 10 men, don't tend to crumble because Birmingham and Millwall scored against us when they only had 10 men.
Yeah, Millwall were 10 times better, weren't they, to be honest, when they went down to 10 men. They looked like they had more competition.
Crowd got behind them. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there'll be at least one forward change because of Afcon and Ajayi going, so Egan will be in. I think, we can talk about Amir. Wouldn't be surprised if Jarvie came in because it worked so well against Wrexham, potentially, but there doesn't really need to be many changes for this one.
No. I think you either start pretty much identical to what you did. Maybe Ajabi comes in the cam role as a potential, but I think the one thing that we're all going to look at mostly with any sort of change is who's going to be starting up top.
Well, it is tempting, isn't it, to play McBurney?
Yeah.
And you don't really want to be in a situation where you could have started him and you haven't done, and we're 1-0 down after an hour and you have to bring him on and he can't score and we lose the game. You don't want to be in that situation. But I think it would be harsh to drop Joseph when, in his shortest career at this point. He's not had that many goals. He's scoring the most he's ever done.
I still think we will see Joseph through the middle, Millar left, Belloumi right, McBurney on the bench. That might and probably will change for Boxing Day to ease the load on Millar and Belloumi, but because they've had a week, I think it will.
Well, that's it. We've got a crazy week, haven't we? Like coming up, a lot of crazy games and matches in a very short space of time over the Christmas period, as obviously it is every year. And you've got that week gap, 6-day gap from the West Brom to the Sheffield Wednesday game on Boxing Day. And then you've got Middlesbrough literally 3 days after, and then 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. You've got Stoke. I mean, is it a case of we're just going to be nicey pies and say, look, okay. Look, KJ, you've had a good run. You've done really well. Let's keep playing you. Or do we actually look at it and go, right, let's just make sure we get this win out of the way, start, then bring KJ on. So then both players are kind of like settled, kind of got the energy ready for that 6 weeks time. When we do play Sheffield Wednesday on Boxing Day, we can't now look at how well people have done, who's going to be the better player. We're at that stage in December where who's going to be the best one, who's going to get us the most result, because Joseph has played a heck of a lot of minutes. A heck of a lot of minutes. And if with this compact time zone that we're about to get, do we really want to keep smashing him out with all those minutes? Because if anything happens to Joseph, he's like also a winger cover. He's kind of that solid winger cover with the energy and effort. He's actually a lot bigger of a player than he's actually is and made out to be. And I'm not talking like the quality. He covers so much ground. He covers so much effort. He breaks on so many plays. He's involved in everything. He's now getting goals. He's playing up top. He covers on the left. He's gone on the right. You've got to actually, believe it or not, Carl Joseph is one of the more very important players in the whole City squad right now. I never thought I would be saying these words. I honest to God, I don't think any fan would look at me going, you might think I'm being nuts here. But you've got to think, with the amount of games that we've got coming up, is he the best player to start against West Brom? Because if anything happens to him at West Brom, and we've got these compact load of games coming up, 300 players are the 300 players of Belloumi, Millar, and McBurney that we're going to have to depend on for 3 games in pretty much 6 days. That's where things start getting a bit ooh, So, in my mind, I would actually start McBurney for this game and just let Joseph have a bit of a leg break. Bring him on as a sub. But for the 3 games after that, that's what I'm thinking now as a manager. I mean, look, I could be talking utter bollocks. I really could be, and everybody else could agree thinking, what are you on about? But from the games that we've got coming up, do we really want to risk Joseph with the amount of injuries that we're still technically carrying? That's my mentality. That's why I'm saying I think we should start McBurney against West Brom.
If we were playing midweek again this week, I would agree. I would probably make the change, but because we've got the week rest off, I wouldn't. In my opinion, is that if it ain't broke, I would play it safe and continue on because he's got 3 goals in 2 games.
It'll be sad against Sheffield Wednesday, won't it? Yeah, I think you're right.
I get that. I do get that. Look, it's one of those points that Sergei has to figure out. We'll all have our opinion on it. It's definitely a Sergey thing. And guess what, guys? In Sergey, I
We can
trust.
trust
It's a
him.
good problem to have.
We trust him. It's a great problem to have. It is. But we want this to go right now, guys. We're enjoying this train, this energy train that whole city are producing for the fans at the moment. They are what they were classed as the top 2 entertainers in football this season or something as a club. They're right, we are. And as we said, injuries can happen to any player in any game. It don't change your winning side. I agree. But my concern is I want to stay winning side and I don't want to lose anybody else. We're finally getting how beautiful was it to see? For that very short space of time, Millar, McBurney, and Belloumi on the pitch at the same time.
We just want them three.
Yeah, that was one of the things in the. That was one of the things that bothered me in the Wrexham game is because Belloumi pretty much came off at the same time with Ben.
Yeah. Oh, we've lost Will again.
I think we've lost Will. I think he was going to say. I think Will was going to say before he froze midway through the sentence that that because McBurney and Belloumi pretty much came, on and off at the same time, we didn't get to see them on the pitch together. Have I got that right, Will?
Yes.
Yeah, but like I said, I think he'll stick with KJ through the middle.
Yeah, I think either way, he'd be justified. So 2 good options there.
I mean, if he doesn't start McBurney, you've still got Ollie McBurney to bring off the bench.
Perfect choice, really, isn't it? Yeah,
because I mean, if at some point in the second half of the season we can have a midfield of Lundstrom, Matazzo, Galhart,
and Zambrano.
Funny.
Zambrano Matazzo pivot would be a dream, to be fair.
Anyway, Lundstrom, Matazzo, Galhart, Belloumi, Millar, McBurney. That's the dream. That's the dream. I hope we get to see it at some point, if injuries permit.
We won't because Galhart's getting cold and McBurney's going to do his ACL.
There's a negative, Nathaniel.
There is the Nathaniel we know. There he is.
It's possible. It's possible. All I say is that we've been saying that for years now. Oh, if we only had this player fit, and it never happens. So there's no point thinking of it.
Well, it's got to happen at some point.
No, Joe, certainly it does not have to because it hasn't. So no.
Law of averages suggest it will.
That we will get another 10 ACLs.
We'll get the predictions table up. Move on.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any person who knows how to predict things, it's Nathaniel. As the NatJ table will show, look, he's at the bottom.
Yeah, bottom with Joe.
Yeah, but the
Joe's
thing
not
is,
the one who's claiming all this stuff.
The thing is, your bottoms, Nathaniel, are predicting us to win 9-7. Or what? I think
shows how bad you are.
We say it every week, though, that I've moved the wrong way. That your predictions, they are, it brings the whole integrity of the league into disrepute, quite frankly.
Well, to bring a long story short, this week over the 2 games, there was only one correct prediction from any of the five people plus the computer. And that was myself for Wrexham. Yes, everyone else predicted incorrectly.
That's bad.
I was the only one who had any faith in the team. So I get the point, and I'm closing in on Christian. I'm coming for the title. I'm going to fight for this title. So I would love it. I would love it if I beat him. Love it.
God, here we go. Yeah, I haven't had a good streak in the last couple of games, have I? I think I've been going a bit too negative in the predictions at our end. I'm going to have to switch them around and have more faith. Just don't want to get myself hurt, That's one of those. So, but yeah, Will's little prediction on Wednesday. I have to admit,
it's put the cat amongst the pigeons, has it?
I did get when at the end of the game, I was like, crap. Will's going to get this one.
Well, what do we predict for West Brom then? Because I mean, it'll be a tough game because it's the Championship. Every game's tough, but I'd like to think that we can come out on the right side of it. But you know, a typical City can strike again.
I think we will come out on the right side of it. I think it'll be a typical West Brom goal fest, 3-2, where I think we go 3-0 up, and then West Brom, in typical West Brom fashion, bring it back.
I think I'm with you on that, Joe. I think I'm on the 3-2 train as well, if I'm honest, 3-2 all. Maybe not in the correct order. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those games where we'll get one, they'll get one, we'll get one, they'll get one, and we'll be the 91st minute close it off.
Close it off with a Gilo cross into the head of Ollie McBurney.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen, isn't it? Yeah, predicting the future already.
Well,
I'm going to be slightly more sensible and go with a slightly lower scoring game. Because, to be honest, recently, when we've been the last few games, there hasn't really been like a high-scoring goal fest between both sides. Because I wouldn't call Middlesbrough a high-scoring goal fest between both sides. So I'm going to go 2-1 to us.
Smart.
Joseph Brace again. Man's a machine.
Goal scoring machine, yeah. 4-0 West Brom.
For Christ's fucking sake.
Slater's going to get his first goal this game.
Own goal, yeah.
Oh, goal. God's sake.
Slater's already scored this season as well.
He has scored, actually, yeah.
Sorry,
his first goal outside of the box. Outside of the box.
Yeah.
There we go.
What, a back pass?
He's going to get his weldy.
So in Nathaniel's world, that dribbles along the floor through Panda's legs, or Slater tries to clear it off the goal line. It hits Panda on the arse and bounces back into his own net.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, would you like me to predict it sensibly?
No, 4-0 stuck. 4-0 stuck.
You've already said 4-0, so you're stuck now.
Is it locked in?
3-0?
Yeah, I've written it down.
Good. Where did you guys find Nathaniel? On Twitter? Tweeting nonsense 4 years ago.
That means that's 3 games in a row you've not predicted us to score.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Well, the goals will dry up at some point.
Sorry for audio listeners, you won't get this at all, but go on the YouTube version and just look for the moment Nathaniel realizes the mistake he's made. You can see the exact cog turn in his brain.
You predicted the second highest scorers in the division to go 3 games what will go.
Well, McBurney, he can't hit a barn door, can he, really? So,
having predicted us to beat Middlesbrough 5-3 the game before that.
Yeah. Oh, well. Hi, yes. Hi, Huffy. I was recognised. It's taken me 68 minutes to remember this. I was recognised by my voice talking about the Wrexham game, walking out the stadium. Chris, who I think has said he's commented in, but I feel like he's actually been on the show before at some point. I can't remember. He said, "Oh, are you that prick from the podcast?" No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said,
"More believable if he did."
I recognise your voice. I'm like, "Oh yes." So I unlike the first person who recognised me from the podcast, I've actually remembered to shout them out. So if you do recognise me, you can come up. Yeah.
I'll be honest, you said you've been recognised. I thought that's because the episode of Crime Watch had finally gone out.
Haha. Zing, Will. Touche. Anything else to mention?
No, I think we've covered everything,
If I don't freeze in this sentence, which I probably will, FIFA's World Cup ticket prices are good, aren't they?
Oh yeah, brilliant. FIFA's official ticket tout is themselves.
Ooh, I want to pay a minimum of 265 quid to watch us play Croatia.
Oh yeah, if we get to the World Cup final, stump up $4,000.
Actually, I don't think I'd bother going to the England games. I want to go to the designated Pride game between Iran and Egypt.
Perfection. Chef's kiss. Well done, FIFA. Good job. No notes. Oh dear.
It's the World Cup that will keep on giving, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really wish it wouldn't.
Just wait until we get to 2030, and where we've got to decide whether we're going to do to Madrid and back, to Rabat and back, to Lisbon and back, or to Buenos Aires, Montevideo, etc., and back.
At least the next Euros are in the UK.
Yes, London and back. Oh, it's Dublin as well, isn't it? And is it Wales? Yeah.
Wales is in the UK.
Yes, but I mean, you might want to include multiple host cities in the name, is what I mean.
No.
London's not the capital of Britain. I don't think Welsh and Northern Irish and Scottish people are. But what are we talking about?
But London is.
I don't know. We're
I
going way off
recommend you
track now.
stop there.
Right.
Yeah. Time out. We've had a good show.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe. Do not forget.
Smash the bell icon. That's a thing.
Give
us a nice-
smash that bell because you do get notified, and obviously we want to see you about your comments. Help us go through, obviously, throughout the podcast, and it's always nice to hear your views as well. So
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. I think we've still got a blue sky that never gets used, so that'll be a laugh. Give us a nice rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Cheers.
Lovely.
Props to my homeboy Gianni Infantino.
Yes, shout out to him, of course.
Will's best mate.
All right. Well, lovely chatting to you three as always. Thanks for all the comments. We'll see you next week as we've had another demoralising home drubbing to discuss. We're back next week. Merry 6 points miss. Bye for now.